Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Friday edition of the Computer America Show. Yep, we made it to Friday again, and we've got a great show planned for you. We have a special guest in the first hour. I'm very excited about this. Elio Motors is here. That's right. And if you haven't seen this car, you really need to. I mean, it's a car that's absolutely amazing. 84 miles per gallon on this vehicle, and it's not a hybrid. So, okay. And hybrids, they can cost $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. This thing costs $6,800. You heard me right. That's not a Speako. $6,800. So we're going to be talking about this with the company's VP of Sales, Jerome Vasello.
3 minutes until showtime.
And then, of course, hour 2, we'll have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax. Oh, one other thing, we have our show reminder winner of the week, too. We'll be announcing them in the second hour of the show. So, again, sit back, relax, enjoy the program. We'll be starting in about 3 minutes.
Did we tell anyone that Aaron was supposed to be on tonight?
No, we didn't. Why, was he supposed to?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Why, he wanted to talk to Elio Motors?
No, he was supposed to be on because I was supposed to have plans to go somewhere else, but, canceled those, and
well, I
he
know
got him.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yep. Apparently he hurt himself at work today.
Oh, I did not hear that. Is he okay?
Yeah.
What happened?
I think he fell off a ladder and hit his head.
Oh, is he okay? I mean,
got like an inch and a half cut in his scalp.
Ouch.
Apparently he came home and he was like, "You have brain matter in your hair." It's like, oh, that's new.
It's lovely. Has he spoken to his mother? I think he did. He called earlier, so I think she spoke to him. Okay.
He's fine, folks. Don't worry about that. It's just Aaron was supposed to be here, but now he's not.
Well, no, he's not. Okay, and for obviously good reason. Charles Tendell still out at the Black Hat convention covering it. I assume we will hear more from him next week when he comes back to the show on Wednesday. And but as I said, I'm really excited about talking about the Elio motor car, and they'll be coming up in a few minutes. Okay.
I'm going to try to find the GIF of yesterday we talked about the comet
Yes.
that the probe is about to land on, and they showed the trajectory that it's taking.
1 minute until showtime.
Pretty cool to look at.
All right. Well, when you send me the stories, we'll maybe include it as a story too. Yeah, Jack says as long as he didn't fall into a vat of stuff. No, I don't think so. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see the projection. Yeah, look at that.
That's the path I had to take to get into orbit.
Oh, my God. All right, 30 seconds. Okay, John, here we go.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it's Friday! Yes, we made it. Another week. All right. And, of course, that means we're going to have a show reminder winner of the week. Yes. We'll be announcing that probably in the second hour. And in the second hour, we'll have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. Now we have a really. I've been looking forward to our first hour guest, and I'm going to give out the numbers and everything. Do this right now before we get started. If you have any questions for our guest or comments, give us a call at 347-884-8881. 347-884-8881 will get you on and get you through. Email live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also visit us on our live interactive IRC chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com. You'll see the button right there. It says chat room/video. It'll ask you for a nickname. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you directly into the Computer America chat room. You can also, if you want to, watch the show on our live Computer America video streaming page, which is brought to you by Otherworld Computing, quality products, expert support since 1988, now celebrating its 25th anniversary. Visit them at www.macsales.com. Otherworld Computing. We'll talk a little bit more about them in the second hour, but I really want to. Anything else you want to mention, Ben, before we get started?
No, I think we're all just hoping for Charles Sandell's safe return. Did you hear from him, by the way?
No, I did not hear from Charles, but I know he's out at the Black Hat Convention in Las Vegas and DEF CON. Charles is my other co-host. He's a certified ethical hacker, and I'm sure he's going to have lots of videos and interviews that we'll be hearing about all next week when on his return. He'll be with us back next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Okay, so then let's get started. Now, the Elio Motors is a company that was founded in 2008 by Mr. Paul Elio. The mission and desire of the project was to provide affordable transportation to those commuters seeking an alternative to today's offerings. For those families with minivans or SUVs, Elio provides an efficient and economical way to get them to and from work. With an Elio car getting 84 miles per gallon and costing just a mere $6,800. That's right, $6,800. I'd say they are on the right track. Now, joining us is Jerome Vasallo. Jerome is Elio Motors' Vice President of Sales. Jerome, welcome into Computer America. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thank you, Craig and Ben, for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here. I mean, I've been watching Elio for some time now, ever since you came to my attention, and this is just an amazing vehicle. Now, just for the top, if people have not seen this, you can go to our website at computeramerica.com and go to our show notes. It's under the archives pull-down menu. Go to our show notes page. You'll see today's show, August the 8th, and we have a link to the Elio Motors website. So you can see everything that we're talking about tonight, or you can just go there directly to it. It's www.eliomotors.com. Okay, so you can see that on the website and see this vehicle. You really need to take a look at it. Let me just, off the top of my head, just why don't you quickly describe this car? It's somewhere, but you would think it's, at first when you look at it, it doesn't have four wheels, it has three wheels. So what inspired you to develop this kind of car?
Well, right, when you look at it, you'll notice three wheels is the first thing you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's one door and two seats.
Mm-hmm.
It's very slender, so the seating is for two.
Mm-hmm.
However, they sit in tandem, one behind the other, very similar to, say, a motorcycle
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a fighter jet.
Or a racing vehicle.
Yeah, right. Not yet. But the overall length of the vehicle is about 13.5 feet. So you're about the same length as a compact sedan.
Okay. All right. And again, I've seen the models now. I've seen them through the development. I mean, the latest version looks very finished. It has high gloss. I mean, it comes in beautiful colors, and we'll get into all this. But I guess my first question is, can you really build a quality vehicle and sell it for $6,800?
Well, we're about to show you, right?
Yeah.
It's there's a lot. There's a lot to what goes into the manufacture of a vehicle, right?
Sure.
Us being 2 seats, you eliminate 3 other ones right off the bat, so
Mhm.
there's less money there.
Mhm.
I have 1 door instead of 4, so there's 3 doors gone.
Mhm.
And as you start adding those things up, those turn into real savings for our customers. So, yes, it can be done. And I guess Paul likes to say, less stuff just costs less. And with Elio, that's what we're going to offer you.
Right.
A lot less extra stuff.
But let me ask you this: what kind of a driver's license does one need to drive this vehicle? I don't know. Should I call it a car? I mean, you
Well,
tell
that's
me.
a good question, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vehicle. Technically, it's an autocycle, a new category, if you will, kind of a subcategory of a motorcycle. But what we've done is, with all automotive controls, fully enclosed in a roll cage, airbags like an automobile, pedals like an automobile.
Sure.
All the driving elements are similar to an automobile. The learning curve on it is, a matter of minutes rather than,
Right.
switching over to a motorcycle, let's say, something more traditional like that.
Mhm.
So in most states, you only need your standard driver's license, and we are working with our government affairs division, working on legislation to help that in all 50 states.
All right. So
So very simple.
what states is it easier to list the states that don't let you drive as opposed to the ones that do let you drive with the driver's license? So how many states do you have on board?
Right. I believe we're down to, I don't have the list in front of me, but I believe we're down to about 20 states that do require it. But remember, most of the governments are on a vacation session at this point too, so they're reviewing legislation, and hopefully they'll act when they come back.
Now, this is a federal law. In other words, so you can drive this car through it. If you have a license, in, let's say in Florida, I can drive it anywhere in the country. Okay, all right.
Correct.
Correct. The car
Mhm.
has to have a tag. In other words, that's what validates the car. A plate of some sort. Correct.
Right, and it will have a motorcycle plate on it.
A motorcycle plate. Okay, so you're gonna.
Correct.
It'll
so
be
you
like.
register it as a motorcycle, insure it similar to a motorcycle, the same kind of thing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I would say, what about things like insurance? I understand you're not an insurance company, but I mean, you would insure it? You would require a motor.
Like, would you tell your insurance companies, like, yeah, it's like, oh, don't worry, it's an Elio, it's not really a motorcycle. My life insurance doesn't have to go up, guys. Don't worry.
Well, or
right.
if you have,
well, there's a lot of things that go into insurance, and again, I'm not an agent.
Right.
However, you look at what goes into insurance, and one of the first things they notice is a replacement cost. We're $6,800. So we hope insurance is less for that fact alone. But then you engineer it for the highest safety standards, and now you're looking at a vehicle that our consumers should fare very well with in any incident they get in. So that eliminates things, especially compared to a regular motorcycle, right?
Right.
We have an exoskeleton, whereas a motorcycle, you are the exoskeleton. So
Right.
it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it is. You still get the feeling that you're driving in a car. Now, we're getting all kinds of questions coming in from the chat room. One of our users wants to know
Great.
if it has an automatic transmission. I said, yeah, it does. But does it have an automatic transmission?
Right. Our the base car, which comes standard with air conditioning and heat, power window and lock, AM/FM radio with an iPod jack, and it comes with a manual transmission.
Okay.
We will offer an automatic transmission. That'll be a little bit more. I don't know how much more. Our goal is under $1,000 more for the automatic. So.
Okay. And it has so the amenities of the vehicle. It has air conditioning, heat. And I'm going to get into some of the videos that we watched and the kind of traction that you get with this vehicle. It doesn't have the weight of a car, but yet it has a lot of things that give it additional stability, like and we'll talk about the braking system. It has airbags. One of the reasons was, do you have to wear a helmet like a motorcycle? I believe the answer is no, right? You don't have to wear a helmet when you're driving this because you're
correct.
Yeah,
that's correct. At this point, we're at there's 5 states that currently require a helmet. We are working to overturn that legislation as well, and the states are very cooperative. Any of them that we've worked with, they have overturned unanimously. So we're very proud of that.
I would, and it makes sense because obviously you need a helmet on a motorcycle because it's just you and the sky above you, and that's it. And the Elio,
in the Elio, you have the over-the-shoulder harnesses like in a roller coaster that come down and snap down.
And you're in a cockpit. I mean, you're in an enclosed vehicle. You know, it's all enclosed.
Right.
And I understand that it's just not cheap plastic or something. That this is the construction of the body is quite sound, is it not?
Correct. It's a full steel, hardened steel roll cage.
Yeah.
That you're sitting in. You know, unlike a lot of vehicles that are on the road today, you know, this really does sit in a full steel roll cage. And you know, there are disadvantages to helmets. You know, there's the obvious ones. You know, your hearing is cut,
Sure.
your visibility is cut,
Sure.
down quite a bit. So, and then there's also those pesky things like adding 5 pounds of weight to the tip of your vertebra, right? That's strapping your body down. That probably wouldn't measure up very well either. So, getting rid of the helmet is a great idea for a lot of reasons.
I would agree with you completely. Now, let me just ask you a couple of things. Now, we'll get into the stability of the car and of the vehicle. And should I call it a car? It looks like a car. Or do you want to call it a vehicle, or do you does Elio Motors actually refer to it as a car?
I have been absolutely trained that this is a vehicle. So you can call it whatever you'd like, but I will continue to call it a vehicle. How's that?
All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right, you know, because I don't think there's anything that says a car has to have 4 wheels. You know, so. But
I'm thinking of one of the cars, might have been in the 70s or 80s or what have you, that was pretty big over in Europe. It was all plastic, and it was all hilarious because it would tip over all the time. I mean, I'm thinking of one of the gears, but yeah, and what are the odds of this thing tipping over? Because, you know, 3 wheels, obviously not as stable as 4 wheels, but I'm assuming, you know, the odds of Elio rolling over, you know, just from seeing the pictures, are probably slim to none.
Right. Well, when you reverse the point of the triangle, right, and you put the base of it in front of you and the point behind you, now making turns, like you can see in those videos from the Robin Reliant, the tip, there is no tip factor to it. You know, if I put the point in front and I turn, then you have the result of the Reliant. So we figured that out pretty quick.
Now, also stability of the car. Obviously, you have. It looks like it has like the suspension, like of the front 2 wheels. You understand that it is a front-wheel drive car, so which always gives you even more stability. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. You know, and it's simple. By dropping the engine right over the powertrain, right over the axis wheels, you're putting the weight there. So rain, snow, that kind of stuff, the weight is over those wheels that pull, and that's thing number 2 is pulling. You know, rather than push something from the point, if you pull it from the base, it's a lot more stable. And again, it does come with ABS and traction control and stability control and all that stuff that your car has in it today. Yeah. We've incorporated into the Elio.
See, that's what I want to tell you. So we have all those different things, the brakes. So now when you turn the car, because it has a regular steering wheel, you turn it. Obviously, there's 2 front wheels turn. Does the back wheel stay the same, or does it move at all, or does it just stay the same?
No, it stays stationary. It obviously rolls, but it does not turn. It's like a tail dragger.
Okay.
So we brake it, so there's ABS all the way around, and the traction and stability control can talk to all 3 wheels, but there's no power going to that wheel.
I understand. So, all right, I'm fine. Now, what kind of turning radius does this thing have?
As your typical sedan would have. You know, we're about the length of a Honda Civic. So it'd have about the same turning radius as a Honda Civic.
So you got a very good. It's a good, excellent turning radius. It sounds like it's going to turn on a dime. By the way, my wife is dying to have one of these things. You know,
be a good husband.
I will. Yeah. She wants to know if it can. You know, she wants to know if it can make it up a mountain. You know, with 2 people in it. You know, and I said that I first of all, this thing can go up a little over 100 miles an hour. So obviously, you know, then there's no place in this country where you can go 100 miles an hour legally. So you're cruising along at 70 miles per hour. You're turning pretty darn good. I would assume with an automatic transmission, it has all the proper ratios, so you can go up a fairly steep slope on you know, going up to a driveway on a mountain. You know, let's say you're in the Carolinas with there are a lot of mountains, that type of thing. Would you agree?
Sure, absolutely. If you think, right now we're used to hearing in today's marketplace, horsepower, torque, all those numbers are bigger than they were when I started driving.
Mm-hmm.
You could find an MGB had 50 horsepower. A Geo Metro, for crying out loud, had 70 horsepower in it, and it could go fine uphill as well. And we're half the weight, so we're double the torque of the Geo Metro. We're about the same horsepower and half the weight. So uphill is not a battle. I like to tell folks, because we can relate to it. You think of the older Harleys, they had about 50, 60 horsepower in them. They weren't today's Harley, and those big bikes weighed about the same as an Elio, maybe, especially with the rider on there, about the same as an Elio. So they went uphill just fine as well. So it really depends on the efficiency of the engine and the lightweight chassis to get us there.
Yeah, I have so many questions to ask you. And we're getting so many questions in the chat rooms. They want to know. We've established that it comes with a manual transmission, but you can also get an automatic transmission with it. How many forward speeds in the automatic transmission? Is it how many forward speeds?
5 speeds in both of them.
5 speeds in manual and in automatic. That's we have a PT Cruiser. It only has 4. so that 5 speeds. So
right.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And again, with a fraction of the weight of a standard automobile, that is really. Now, how many horsepower is the engine?
We'll have between 55 and 60 horse, but the key number with that is the pound-feet of torque. The engine's typical 3-cylinder engine before this had about 50 to 60, maybe 70 horsepower, non-turboed, of course, normally aspirated. But their torque numbers were 25 to 30 pound-feet of torque. Ours is 55 pound-feet of torque.
Wow!
And that's part of the secret to getting us to 84 miles per gallon. Don't make that engine over rev.
Sure.
Keep its workload light, and it'll get you there. So,
now, obviously, this vehicle has an 8-gallon tank. And if you figure you can get 84 miles per gallon, that means you have about 672 miles you can go on a single tank of gas with this vehicle. Am I correct in my calculations?
That's correct, and it's pretty amazing. On the East Coast, we say I can go from Detroit to Manhattan on $32 in gas at $4 a gallon. That's pretty good. West Coast, we say if you leave Los Angeles, you can go to Vegas, lose your money, and still have enough gas to get home. So you can. That's a pretty good distance.
Yeah.
See, that was a hidden perk. You just kind of glossed over there. It can get you away from Detroit. That's amazing.
Well, born and raised here, and I love my city. It'll come back.
Okay, so it can get you to Detroit. My bad. I didn't know we were speaking to someone from Detroit. Okay.
So let me. So 672 miles. There's an interesting video on the Elio Motors. It's called the perpetual motion machine. The video and it actually shows you how you can almost get better mileage with this than you would if you had a car that was perpetual motion. And it kind of breaks it down with math.
Your cost of ownership. That's correct.
Exactly. It's actually better than if you had with that kind of a mileage, 84 miles per gallon. You'd have to have a perpetual motion machine for quite a number of years before you'd even break even. Given them, if I encourage all of you to watch that video, it's very interesting. But all right, so 672 miles on an 8-gallon tank of gas. You certainly can go quite a distance with this. Now, what kind of gas is it? Does it require a special kind of fuel, or is it just regular gas?
It does not. No, regular gas.
Not even high test. Not even high test.
No premium required.
No premium. So just on the standard.
That's correct.
That's amazing.
While we're talking about gas, we're talking about the perpetual motion, and some folks, when they watch the video, I think they'll understand it. But we've got some other numbers out there. I mean, you'd have to drive the typical car with an average fuel economy mid-20s. 15,000 miles would cost you about $2,600 at $4 a gallon. The Elio, for that same period, would be $715. And those are real numbers. Those kind of little things add up, and people will notice it directly in their pocketbook.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got this, and I had a point to make here. So you have the torque. When you watch the vehicle, let's say on a slippery, icy, or snowy road, the fact that the car is being pulled rather than pushed You get, and with all the ABS, all these different the different technologies, it appears that you have an extremely stable vehicle that you're driving in, and you can go through most any weather condition.
That's true. Besides all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive really is the answer for all kinds of road conditions. Whether it's gravel or a wet pavement or snow or ice. Really pulling is always the best idea. Again, I like to think of the little model cars, and if you put your finger behind that car and push it, it wants to go sideways. The rear always wants to come in front of the front.
That's right.
But if you pull it, it's stable.
It is stable.
A little plug for the inventor of front-wheel drive, I guess.
What kind of warranty do you get with this car?
Well, you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile covers everything warranty.
Wow.
And we're pretty proud of that. There's a lot of longer warranties out there, on vehicles, and we understand that. But we consider that at the price of the vehicle and the reliability of the vehicle is there. The 3 or 36,000 miles, should cover everything.
Well,
and that's what we've done.
Now,
cover everything.
Now, I understand that that you're working to get I don't necessarily a built-in setup for warranty coverages or service. You have an agreement, I think, with Pep Boys or something or are you going to have dealerships around the country? How is that going to work?
Well, the idea is to have storefronts. A little bit different than today's dealer environment, right? Where it's all in one location. We'll have a storefront for retail, but by going with Pep Boys to go with, the day we open, we'll have 600 places for our customers to take their vehicle in for repairs, and that does make a difference. You buy it once, you service it, more than once. So I like the idea of having service spread out in that many locations.
Yeah, I would think so. So if there's a Pep Boys in your area and the number of stores that they have, you could bring it in for warranty service, or if something goes wrong, they can bring. Now, is it going to be special kinds of tires, or will some sort of generic tire work on it? What do you do for tires for this car, for the vehicle?
Well, and that's part of the $6,800 we were talking about earlier. That's another part of it. We're using all automotive components, including the tires. So there's no specialty parts required. The brakes are automotive, your suspension's automotive,
wow.
The steering, your fusing, all that stuff is all automotive, which is readily available. And again, I don't have to use 2014 technology in this vehicle. A few years ago we were still driving cars, and those cars ran fine too. So using the technology that was out there is working well for us and allows us to keep that cost down. But yes, you're right. I know I own a motorcycle, and putting tires on that thing is a little bit more expensive than putting all three on an Elio. That's for sure.
There you go. The other question I wanted to ask you, with that incredible mileage, 672 miles per gallon, a tank, 84. That means you could take some long trips, and I hadn't seen any mention of it on the website. That doesn't mean it isn't there, or are you thinking about adding cruise control? Because, if you're going to go along,
yes.
Any thoughts to that?
Yeah. Yes, cruise control will be there, and part of that'll be an option for us. Let me clarify, that will be an option. One of the things that we do with Elio as well to keep that cost down is a lot of the items that you're used to seeing in your vehicle, but you never use. For example, the grab handles. We call them something else, but it's live radio, so we'll call them the grab handles.
Okay.
They're over every door in your car, right? We don't do that. We will offer that as an option for you, but it won't be a $75 option. It may be a $5 or $10 do-it-yourself. Just screw the handle into the pre-drilled and tapped holes that are in there.
Oh.
Right? And backup cameras. Will they be available? Sure. Now, do you want Bluetooth? Sure, you can do that as well. And a vanity mirror. I don't use a vanity mirror, but my wife's not listening. I don't think, but my bride may use one.
I see.
But I don't need to pay for it if I'm not going to use it. So that's kind of the idea behind Elio. And I have one more very odd example that may stick with your listeners. Think of the windshield washer bottle in the front of your car.
Yes.
That's usually the last thing that goes in, and it's kind of an odd design because it's got to fit a set space, correct?
Right.
The cost of making that is pretty expensive. Well, at Elio, we're just going to make a rack, and it's going to hold a 1-gallon bottle of washer fluid. So when it runs out, you just stick a new one in there. Because I know on mine, it doesn't quite hold a gallon. So I've got a garage full of, washer bottles with 2 inches worth of fluid in the bottom. I'm sure I will recycle them. I'm responsible. However, with Elio, I'll just stick the jug in there, and when it's done, stick it in the recycle bin and buy another one.
Okay, so
have those kind of things all add up.
So you have you have wiper windshield washer with it. What about things like intermittent wipers? Where you can that you can adjust. Is that an option or something you're thinking about?
Sure, absolutely. Again, with the beauty of Elio is our supply base, which we haven't talked about yet, and maybe we'll talk that in the next half hour. They're truly our partners. So what we look at is if our supplier makes it, we will look at offering it as an option. Okay. For example, Lear is our seat supplier, and they make all kinds of seats.
Like Lear jets? You're talking about Lear jets?
One maybe in leather or heat or whatever, you can do that.
Heated seats? You mean like Lear?
So we like to look at all those.
When you say Lear, you mean like Lear jets? You mean?
Lear seating.
Lear
correct.
seating. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So you basically, it sounds like you can have as many of the amenities or options as you want on this vehicle.
That's right. And when you start at $6,800, isn't it nice to know that you can add a few things to make your commute comfortable?
Yeah.
And still not break the bank.
Exactly. Yeah. This is all really nice. Now, let me just ask you this: when is it actually going to go into production?
We're scheduled to start production the end of next year. Right now, we're seeing the end of the third quarter of 2015.
Okay.
And we're building that in America at our plant in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Right. Now, I think that as it was going, we heard different start times in the different videos. I think some of them were saying the summer of 2014, and so I guess things get pushed back as these things. It's not uncommon for things like that to happen. So right now you're looking.
Oh, that's correct.
Yeah.
We have been delayed, and we're not enthused and happy about it, a delay. However, it's part of the process. If I were coming to market with a new string, I might not have as many moving parts to worry about and factories to purchase and things like that. But this is an entire new car company, not just a new model. So we're expecting it to take a little bit more time, but I think we've got our diligence in, and we're prepared to go the end of next year.
Now you're saying that it's going to be made in America. Is America still the best place to manufacture a vehicle?
Oh, by far, absolutely. When you think about the workers we have here, they're highly trained, and again, we're taking over a plant that was a former General Motors plant. And think about the wisdom that we got by bringing those folks back to work. Right. The same gentlemen and ladies that worked that equipment before will come in. They'll still require some training. Obviously, we'll have different tooling on the end of that machine, but the machine they know. They know how it hums. They know when it vibrates. It needs some help. All the little things that that person would know. We're getting that, and that is a great step forward as well.
Yeah. Amazing. Now,
little known fact, by the way, I in the past year I actually worked at a manufacturing job, and a lot of the people that I worked with actually came from car companies. I was in South Carolina, so they have BMW out there. But really good to hear that you are using American labor for the manufacturing, because those guys are, at least the ones I worked with, smart and know everything about everything that they work on. So.
You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are talking to Jerome Vassallo from Elio Motors. We got lots more to talk about. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Stay tuned for more Computer America.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the no-no, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible no-no hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi again, it's Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bullet Review of MSDN. That's the Microsoft Developers Network. It gets fairly geeky, and mostly it's IT guys who go there, and developers, guys who write programming. But it's not so geeky that it's not within the ken of at least several of you, so we thought we'd take another look at new Windows agency to request a renewal for our MSDN subscription. As usual, that took months, but it also gave us an opportunity to see how the service has changed. The available downloads now span 11 terabytes of files, well beyond Windows and Office, with Azure and Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Visual Studio and Windows Phone Developer Tools. Filters let you narrow the pick list to a specific architecture, 32-bit or 64-bit. File extension, EXE for direct launch or ISO for burning disks. A language, a product family. One of the top tabs takes you to a list of claimed product keys and says how many remain unclaimed. Bottom line, today, MSDN offers more downloads and more convenience than ever. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. We are talking to Elio Motors, and we have Jerome more specifically, and we're talking about all the all the different details that go into not only making not only with the car itself, but making the car here in America as well. And by the way, Detroit, right? Not just America, but Detroit specifically.
We're built in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay, there we go. My bad. Okay, Louisiana. And
Yeah.
Sorry again if I'm making answer this twice, and you already said this, but I think it bears repeating. The cargo capacity.
Oh, okay.
Let's say you leave the wife at home and you just want to go out about town, and I'm not expecting construction material to go into this thing, but what kind of cargo does this thing hold?
Well, it depends on your construction equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we can safely say if you're by yourself, you can fold the back seat down and get a duffel bag in with a full set of golf clubs. So if that's what you choose to do on your time away from Mama, that it'll fit golf bag and a duffel bag. With Mama in the back with you, the trunk area will hold, say, a full case of water bottles, or the federal regulated overhead bin carry-on size on an airplane.
Okay, so I mean,
trunk. It has it does have a trunk that you can put into it.
It does.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. It does have a trunk.
So you can put groceries in there. You can put bags of groceries in there. It looks like it's a fairly sized capacity that will hold. Mm-hmm.
More than one person so far has said this would be.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I say we actually have a picture of Mr. Elio crawling out of the trunk of it from the inside. You have to see that picture. It's on our website. But yeah, it holds a person too. How's that?
Oh, there you go.
I've heard more than one person say this would be the perfect pizza delivery truck or car.
Yeah, I mean,
wouldn't it?
Well, how can a guy make money driving an SUV making with it at 18 or 16 miles per gallon? Obviously, with something like this, they can make a profit.
Well, I have a little story behind that too. We did talk to a family-owned pizza franchise, and he's interested in 12 of these. And it's been in business for about 75 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a multi-generational pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
And next to him is a high school. And the tradition has been that the kids that go to that high school work at the pizzeria, and they do delivery. But we all know that they're probably in a 10-year-old clunker or maybe older, getting 10 miles to the gallon, and all that tip money is most likely going into the gas tank.
Mm.
So what he's decided to do is put a fleet reservation in for these, and he's going to let them drive these. Now he'll wrap them, probably a $200 wrap with their company logos and maybe a coupon scan bar on the side of the vehicle. Make it fun and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that young man or woman will be able to start making some money delivering these pizzas. The gas gas should help save them a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the interesting twist is, and I think it speaks to American business today. When they graduate, if they stayed with him through graduation, his intention is to hand them the set of keys.
Wow.
Because the vehicle costs so little, right? It's a nice bump for somebody that showed some loyalty to him, and he's going to show loyalty back. I really appreciated what he did. That was a great idea.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, again, at $6,800 a pop, I mean, it certainly makes a lot of sense. Do you foresee that now, obviously, as you go into production with this, are you going to stick with the same basic model, or do you think you're going to come out with different variations, or is the intention initially just to stay with this basic model and just add different options to it, like we had discussed?
Right. Well, we will stay with the basic option and add options as they come available. The aftermarket is full of ideas too. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things floating out there that we can do. But that doesn't limit Elio, down the road to coming out with other vehicles as well. And
sure.
We're very happy with where we stand.
Now, let me ask you this. I mean, for example, one thing that was immediately apparent is that I think most every car that I know has a spare tire, and it's either in the trunk or it's on the back of the vehicle. Would that be an option to mount a spare tire on the back, or any thoughts about how you would handle a situation like that?
Well, today's cars, there's a lot of vehicles on the road today that do not come with a spare tire. They come with an inflator kit, which the Elio will as well, a fix-a-flat type piece. But there really are a lot of vehicles that don't have them. I don't want to name who they are, but there's quite a few. It surprised me how many are doing it. But let's say you're out in the middle of Nebraska and you feel more comfortable having a spare. The side of the vehicle, which would traditionally be the passenger side, the right side of the vehicle, there is no door there. So you can mount anything over there you'd like. If you'd like to carry your spare on the outside of the vehicle, you can put it on the outside. You can also put a bike rack on that side. You can put a kayak on that side. Anything you'd like. You have an open canvas over there.
Would that affect the stability of the car?
It does not. I'm sure there'll be weight limits to it, but a spare tire is within that limit. You should feel secure being able to do that.
Yeah, for example, we have a PT Cruiser. We don't actually have a spare tire. We have what we call a donut, which is a smaller.
Right.
It's a smaller, minimal tire that was really not designed. It's only designed to drive maybe 30, 40, 50 miles on it, and that's all you want to do to get you to a place where you can get your tire repaired. So possibly even having since you're saying it using standard tire sizes, maybe there's a donut tire available that will fit that wheelbase, and something along.
If you'd like that, but I know you've seen them because I see them all the time. Isn't it? It's kind of frightening to see a pretty good-sized vehicle going down the road next to you on the highway, and they pass you, and you look on the rear, and there's a donut on the back. It's like, boy, I wish you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Get off and get it fixed.
Yeah, exactly. They don't recommend highway driving on those. It's just to get you to a gas station, or something like that. How will this car tow? I mean, can I call AAA and say, hey, I need a tow or something? Will they? Is this a towable vehicle?
It is, and that's interesting because a large segment of our interest is coming from RV owners, and this vehicle is flat towable, so you will be able to pull it behind your RV, with the appropriate hitching and all that stuff. You'll be able to pull it behind the RV. You can flat tow it.
You can flat tow it. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
of course, with most like AAA, you can always request a flatbed to come out and pick up you.
Oh, yes.
So they do have that. Well, okay. All right. So let me ask you this. So I think the answer is apparent, but this vehicle is environmentally friendly. Would you not say? And why would you say that?
Well, 84 miles per gallon makes it pretty environmentally friendly. But we wanted to take it a step further, and we had a little humorous exercise here. I had asked our social media person to look up, just getting on different ideas, how to relate greenhouse gases and things like that. And we asked her to look up how would the Elio fare versus one beef cattle. And frankly, you'd have to drive the Elio 20,000 miles in a year to emit as much pollutants as a single cow would in a year's time. So I think it's pretty green. I was expecting a little bit higher number of cows than one, but it was one. So
listen, Jerome,
you'd have to drive 20,000 miles to emit. Yep.
In this day and age of hybrid cars and electric cars, and we're trying to find solutions, and you hear things, oh, we can get 45 to 50 miles on a hybrid car, and you go, oh, that's great, and then you come up with an 84 mile per gallon vehicle that is not a hybrid. It's just an internal combustion engine. Had you ever given thoughts to, because you can get such great mileage, maybe coming out with a hybrid version of this? Would it make sense at all?
Oh, sure. Yes, yes, it would. The Elio is an open platform. So when the technology gets to the point where it's affordable for everybody, we can put in a hybrid system. We can go full electric. We can go to other things like diesel or LPG. It is an open platform, which it makes it, down the road fit a lot of different folks' needs. But what we wanted now was a bridge vehicle to get us over the hump and get us out in the marketplace at a price that people really do turn their head at.
Yeah, and not only turning their heads for the price. If you look at one of the vehicles, you parked this thing in New York City, and that got a lot of heads turning, didn't it?
Yeah, we almost, except for the bus lane, stopped Avenue of the Americas. We're parked out in front of one of the network studios, and the cab drivers started looking, and they were sticking their phone out their window taking a picture, and the guy next to him pulled up further, so it crossed 6 lanes of traffic on Avenue of the Americas and literally stopped traffic. So
that's 6th Avenue.
Yeah, it does. It turns a lot of heads.
That's 6th Avenue for you New Yorkers, in case. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It really. Now, of course, everybody when they see it, they probably want to know, how do you get one? Now, obviously, it's not going to be available until, you say, the latter part of 2015, next year. Can you pre-order them? What do you do if you want to get one, or can you get on a list? And how long is that list if you're going to get on it? Give us a little bit of details. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love your questions, by the way, Craig. Thank you. You've done your homework. We do have a list. It's on our website. You can go to eliomotors.com and you can click on the reservation button. But before you do that, read everything we have on there. We have reviews from folks that have driven it, some reporters that have driven it, and their impressions of the vehicle. We've done it with CNN and Money and Forbes, and they've all had a chance to drive it, and they do like it. But once you decide to do it, you can select a reservation, either refundable or a non-refundable.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, non-refundable.
And with the yes. Yeah, and if you're just hearing about us, maybe you want to start out at a $100 refundable reservation, and that'll start you off on the list. You can move that to a non-refundable when you're more comfortable, from $100 up to $1,000. And up until Labor Day, we will match whatever you put in on the non-refundable side. The non-refundable side will match that 50%. So if you put in $100, we'll take $50 off the price of the Elio when you pick it up. If you put in $1,000, we'll take $500 off the price of the Elio when you put in, because frankly, we're going to use your money for a year.
Okay. So, but the most you can put is $1,000, or can you pay the full price?
No, sorry, $1,000 is what we limit it to.
Okay.
We do have a lot of folks that say, "Yeah, we just put the whole thing in. Can you give me 50% off?" So we're sticking it to 1,000 as an action.
It's nice that you're getting that enthusiasm. I mean, can you disclose? I mean, how long is the list? I mean, how many people are on this list at this point?
We're approaching and very close to. We might have hit it tonight. About 27,000 so far.
Well, after this show, it's going to definitely.
It's growing.
After this show, after this tonight's show, I'm sure it's going to cross that line. But seriously, so about 27,000. So what kind of let's say you go live, I'm just picking a date. Let's say you go live in June of 2015. That means how long a wait do you think I'm gonna have to wait till I can, till something becomes available for me? If I decide to wait to the last, and just buy it at that point.
Sure. Well, at 27,000, there will be a ramp up, of course, and I don't have exact numbers on that, but probably around 150 vehicles a day. We'll immediately ramp that up to 300 a day, and the potential of the factory at full production is near 1,000 vehicles a day.
Wow!
So we can get through the list pretty quickly, but we intend to stay around 300 a day for the American market, and as we expand into the global market, we'll increase that capacity.
What kind of quality control are you going to have on these vehicles? You're pumping out all these vehicles like that. What kind of quality assurance that can customers expect from Elio Motors?
Well, we'll have inspectors on the line, similar to any other manufacturing process that you have today. But one of the beauties of Elio is the simplicity of the design. It takes a lot of engineering to make something simple, and by making it simple and not having a lot of systems in it, that allows for, say, a more reliable vehicle. But you do absolutely require inspectors as well. But we will use full robotics, just like other automotive manufacturers use as well. So we're anticipating a very quality-built vehicle.
And I know sometimes when people who like to work on their own cars, sometimes they hear the word simple, they sometimes think the word over-engineered. Would someone who likes to work on their own cars, change their own oil, troubleshoot their own problems, would they be able to work on this at home?
Are they going to avoid the warranty?
Yes. Yeah. And that was part of Paul Elio's design with it. He wanted something that if you wanted to work on it yourself, or my dad taught me how to work on cars. If a father and son team or mother-daughter team or any combination of those wanted to work on their vehicle, they can. We will have manuals available for them too. But when I opened the hood on it for the first time, I looked down and I actually saw the driveway, and I thought, my gosh, it's been like since 1980 since I dropped a wrench and it hit the driveway without hitting everything else or getting stuck on the way down. So there is a lot of room for you to work on it in there.
Now let me ask you this: Is this a car? Is this vehicle? I keep saying car. Is this vehicle going to have OBD? In other words, onboard diagnostics. I think it was mandatory for automobiles in the late '90s. Are you going to have? Are you under those same compliances, or do you have exceptions to that?
Well, we will have the same tools you use today, the same plug-in that you use today on your vehicles. You will be able to use in the Elio.
Okay, so you're going to have an OBD port or an OBD2, whatever it is at this point.
Right, we'll have a reader that will the same plug-in will fit to read the bulk codes and things like that, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So if you bring it into to one of your mechanics or centers or diagnostics, they can run the diagnostics on it. If there's a mechanical problem, that port will be able to identify what's wrong, and they can get right to it and fix it. If it's and usually if it's within a 3-year warranty, certainly we'll be able to fix it for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it'll read the same fault codes. Yeah.
So because you're using some of the automotive standards, mechanics we won't have to get special tools or things that are going to fit. It's all pretty much standard. Are you going to be following? Is it going to be the English system or the metric system? What are we going to have as far as the nuts and bolts and everything on here?
Well, I think you stumped me on that one. That one I don't know. I don't know if it'll be SAE or metric. I apologize.
That's okay.
But that one I don't know.
Well, there's one for you to look up, and when you come on the show again, you're going to know the answer to that.
I'm surprised it took us 50 minutes to finally stump you.
I wrote it down with a sad face next to it. I didn't know. I forgot.
But there you go. I think it's an important question, though. You should need to know.
It is.
Yeah, I would think if it's made in the USA, that it would be standard. But you never know. Especially if you're using parts that. Now, all the parts though are going to be. Are they going to be? When you said they use the automotive parts, are they going to be pretty from American made, or are they going to be some European things in there as well?
Well, we're proud to say we're over 90% North American content. So,
okay, all right.
The parts that you see at the Pep Boys today or any of the part suppliers today, you'll have a cross-reference with an Elio part number. So, yes.
Okay, well, that makes things really simple. I would think so. I mean, this is
SAE or metric, huh? You had to get me on SAE. That's a good one, buddy. I like.
Well, you can tell him. He stopped me, but listen, I did my research, and I want because this is a terrific vehicle, so you got to be the next interview. You'll be prepared for that. You'll thank me for that.
SAE, but you're right. I'm the factory guy.
If it makes you feel any better, the odds of Craig going at this at an Elio with a wrench are slim to none. So he asked that just to stump you.
It's an open vehicle, you heard, and when you go to it, you're not going to, evidently you won't void the warranty, right? But you want people to be able to work on this, especially for simple things that would, simple modifications, to change the oil.
That's right.
Yeah. What kind of oil weight is this going to use? Is it going to be 20, 40, or is it?
Oh sure. That one we don't. We don't know that yet. How's that?
Okay.
We're still finishing the engine development. In fact, we have a block poured. We have the heads done, and we may see it before the end of this year. So we're really excited about that. But the engine oil, don't know whether it's synthetic or a regular oil. So
I would think
we'll find that out.
If you go with the synthetic, though, I think that's just going to increase the life of the engine. I mean, anytime you can get away from petroleum products, and since although this kind of engine that you're proposing for this vehicle, there's going to be so much less wear and tear. It's not like you're plopping a V8 in there, or a six-cylinder.
Right.
So this is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the same thing applies to a lot of the other parts on the vehicle, right? I mean, the suspension in your car was designed to hold a car weighing, 2,000, 2,500 pounds.
Sure.
And we're using similar suspension components, the shocks and all that from a car. So, the longevity is there. We don't know what it is. Tires are another one. You buy tires based on, their mileage rating. We don't know what the mileage rating will be on an Elio because I'm half the weight of the car that they were designed for. So there's a lot of little extra benefits to it that we don't really quantify yet, but we will. As soon as we know, we will quantify them.
Yeah, I'm just kind of having a point about now. I'm looking at the way that the front tires are mounted, and it almost looks like it's independent suspension. I mean, one tire moves and the other tire doesn't. I don't know if the things like what they call positive traction on it. So if one tire has traction, do both tires have traction, or does one stay and the other one spins? These are all I don't know. I don't know if these problems have been resolved yet. Have they, or are you still working on them?
No, I believe that portion is complete now. I can't really tell you because I drove the vehicle in the snow.
Yeah.
But it was not our engine and our transmission, our drivetrain in it. So I really can't tell you what they've come up with. I do know, the front-wheel drive system, and it will have a slip to it. So if one slips, the other one will grip.
Well, that's a limited slip.
We know that. ABS helps with that as well.
Yeah, that's a limited slip differential. Then that means that the tire that has traction is the one that's going to turn, and not the one that doesn't have traction. So that's all excellent. All right. So that it sounds like you're really you're doing your.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about all these things, Craig, it really is over-engineered. But the fact that we're using those automotive components again make that over-engineering less expensive than custom engineering. So we're really looking forward to it.
No, absolutely. And then let me just ask you this question one more time. Why did Paul decide to go with three wheels? I mean, I think it's really great. I mean, but did it come to him in a flash, or did he? Why the three wheels?
Well, I think it was a migration of the design. Once you say, what shape do I have to be to slice through the air, right? So a normal vehicle, you and I would be sitting next to each other, and we'd be pushing twice as much air, or trying to move twice as much air, requiring more fuel to move that air. It's all about moving air at highway speed. But if you sit behind me and we cut the vehicle in half, now I'm pushing half the amount of air that we would be in the traditional vehicle. So that narrowed it down. So knowing that I would have a slender body, why would I want four wheels poking out of the side when three would suffice? So we put the third one in the slipstream, under the body, and we just exposed the front to the air.
So the passengers.
So that's how it migrated.
Yeah. So the passengers behind you, do they have to? I mean, you have fairly good noise isolation, or they have to scream to get your attention, or is it pretty? Is it when you close it, you really feel like you're enclosed in something? And you don't hear too much out of the outside noise, so you can talk at a normal voice level.
They can talk in a normal voice level, and if they talk louder than a normal voice level, we included the AM/FM stereo for you. So if it gets a little loud in there, you can
truly have the backseat driver. That would work. Maybe you should have an auxiliary.
Yeah, we really set ourselves up for that one, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there's an option. You just offer a steering wheel for the passenger in the back. And just turn it over to them.
Yes.
Yeah, that would.
Yes.
And that would do.
Steering wheel and a brake pedal for every dad out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's no rear view mirror then per se, because you don't really have a window in the back of the car. I assume you use your side mirrors. What's going to give you the behind the?
That's correct. You use your side view mirror.
Okay.
And if you have a chance to sit in it, I'd love to bring it to you so you can sit in it. But if you do have a chance to sit in it, or come see us at one of the shows, you'll notice that rear view mirror on your right hand, if you raise it up about 2.5 feet, it's located where your rear view mirror is on your car today. So the positioning is important, but the visibility is outstanding. You can stand behind the vehicle, in fact, right up to the back end of the vehicle, and see a person back there. So.
Really? You really can see it clearly.
Yep.
Well, listen, Jerome, it was a real pleasure speaking with you, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here on Computer America. And again, I would love to see this. I don't know if you're anywhere in the Carolinas or something, if I could ever get a chance to see it, but I would certainly like to try it, and certainly like to get one.
By the end of the year, we will be.
Excellent. All right.
I'm planning by the end of the year to be in the Carolinas.
Excellent. Well, then we need to stay in touch so we can do that, and then we'll get you back on and talk about it some more, and maybe talk from my personal experiences with the vehicle. I would love to try it. Absolutely. Jerome?
We'd love for you to be able to say that.
There you go. All right, Jerome. Well, listen, thank you so much again for being with us here tonight. Again, it's www.eliomotors.com, or just go to computeramerica.com. Under our show notes page, you'll see today's show, tonight's show, August the 8th, and we have the link up there that will stay up there forever. And we really suggest that you go, just check it out, look at it. It's an amazing car. I know we're going to get one. I'm confident of that. Jerome, thanks again for being with us here tonight.
Well, Craig, Ben, thank you very much, and thank you for letting us talk about our Elio.
There you go. And say hello to Mr. Paul Elio for me as well. Okay.
Certainly will.
All right. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, good night.
All right, bye-bye. Oh, okay. And now, see, just as we're getting ready to go into the top of the hour, we get a caller. Look at that. Jeez. I can take the call real quick and see what happens here. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hey, caller, what's up?
Yes, can you hear me good?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Can you? All right, thank you very much. You see, we use Linux system. It's free of charge, and we use Ubuntu. Why you guys do not promote Linux? I mean, we are sick and tired of Microsoft, viruses, spyware.
We have something to tell you after the break.
Yeah, why don't you wait, and we'll get back to your call after the break. Stay on the phone, okay? And we'll talk about that. All right?
Sure.
All right. This is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. We got a caller. We'll get back to him right after these words. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we just had Elio Motors on with us, Jerome Vassallo, who is the VP of Sales for Elio Motors, and he, and if you missed it, you really should listen to it again. You can listen to any of our shows. They're under our archive pull-down menu. You can listen to any show that we've done. You can also watch us. We archive all of our video archives on our video archive page. You can see all of it at computeramerica.com. So if you missed anything, you can listen to it time-shifted at your own convenience. We're going to be doing computer technology news here, but I just want to finish speaking to the caller that we had who had a Linux question for us, and I'm going to do that momentarily here. The other thing that I wanted to mention is we're going to have our show reminder winner of the week. We're going to be announcing that person momentarily as well. So meantime, go back to our caller who had a Linux question for us. He's in California, Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hey, caller. So you were starting to tell us about Linux. What else did you want to? What did you want to point out?
Yes, I was going to tell you why in America we are sick and tired of Microsoft. We get 8.2. Suppose Microsoft 8.2, we get viruses, spywares. No matter what you do, you get viruses. That's the question. We cannot afford to buy Apple computer because it's expensive, $3,000 or $2,000 or etc. But Apple is a good system. It's like Linux. It's very secure, and you can do everything on anything you want to do in the Microsoft. Or even Apple, you can do it on Linux.
Well, I
am right now talking with you with Ubuntu 14.4, latest version, and I have been in Linux for 3 years.
Well, I
have really. Go ahead, please.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying. As a matter of fact, we think Linux is such an important operating system that we dedicate an entire show every month to the subject of Linux. As a matter of fact, we're going to have Larry Bushy on the 21st. That's a week from this coming Thursday, the 21st of August. I invite you to come back and listen to him because we talk about Linux with him, and we do so once a month on our show. And I agree with you completely. It's a very important operating system.
Yes, I appreciate you because I'm sure probably you're using Linux right now or Apple.
Right now I use it.
Some of our employees do, actually.
Some of our employees do, and I happen to use OS 10, which is as you know, is a version of Unix, which is very similar to Linux. But I use OS 10 on my Mac. And
we're fans of Mint. Ubuntu and Mint are our two favorites.
Yeah, Charles Tendell is my co-host. He uses Linux as well, exclusively. So.
Oh, good. So we are in the same shoes.
Yes, we are.
We are supporters of Linux.
Yes, we are.
And more of the people should be aware because I'm surprised, how much people in this blog talk get viruses. Right now, as they go to another show, all the computers are infected. I mean, right now I have a firewall. Here is a firewall. And then I have antivirus, which is Clam TK. I have my Skype. I have my sound. I have my Ubuntu Software Center, which anything you want to do, you put it here and you download it. And it's anything. I mean, people think Linux, they say, why it's free? So they're scared. They think that if it's free, it means something wrong.
No, but not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It's because it's free. It's open source. It's free. It's available. Most everything on Linux is free, and I agree with you. I want you to promise me that on the 21st of August, you're going to tune in and listen to our show because it's all about Linux, both hours. Okay, so mark that down.
What time? What time in California time, please? What time in California?
It's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, our show in California. That's the West Coast.
Pacific.
We're on 10 p.m. to
midnight.
Yeah, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern time, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. That's where you are. Okay.
But let me make one more comment on the Linux before I go, because you know the Linux says we produce a clean system. You want to download it free and use it, you're welcome. You don't want it, go back to the brother Microsoft, what's his name, Bill Gates, and put antivirus and everything. Let him make a billionaire too. But Linux, it says, this is our, we have 100 different flavors, but Ubuntu is the most easiest one. And I have tried other ones, but Ubuntu, I like it very much indeed. And I will be sure coming for you and on the 21st, talking to you 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Excellent. All right. Well, we'll see.
All right. So God bless Linux.
All right. And we'll see you then. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. All right, there you go. See, another Linux enthusiast. And that's what we have. We dedicate an entire show every month to the subject of Linux, just for that reason. So.
And also, someone in the chat made a good comment, is we do have an active Twitter account, and I believe every time we start a show, the gentleman running our Twitter account says who's on, when it's on, the day, the time the show starts, and just another easy way to get your show reminders if you're subscribed to our Twitter.
Yes, or subscribe to our show reminder
our
news.
Facebook.
It's completely free.
Reminder Newsweek, that too.
Yeah, it's completely free, and just go to and subscribe to our weekly email newsletter, the show reminder, and it'll tell you when the Linux show is. But again, it's really easy to remember. Just remember, it's the third Thursday of every month. The third Thursday of every month is our Linux show. In this case, it's the 21st. Okay. Well, we're going to do our show reminder winner of the week coming up in a little while, but I'd say we do some computer news now. All right?
All right.
All right. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right. Everything at the slimwareutilities.com website is completely free. It's not a freemium model. You use it for 10 days and you have to buy we cripple it, or you can only try it. No, none of that. Everything there at Slimware Utilities, even their backup software, their Rec Image Windows software, completely free. Our suggestion to you is download them all, keep them, and use them all the time or use them whenever you need them. You're going to really be happy that you have them when you need them, and you'll thank us for it. SlimwareUtilities.com. Okay. So our first story for tonight, Maximum PC. Paul Lilly says that moving on. Remember that song? Moving on. Now you played out. You're too young to remember that. Microsoft confirms no more major updates for Windows 8. Oh.
Is anyone really saying that, though?
Well, he says, bring on Windows 9. As Kenny Rogers famously advised the legion of country music fans, you've got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Know when to walk away, know when to run.
I don't know what you're getting at here.
You gotta count your winnings when sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count when the evening's done. I just had to finish that. Good old Kenny Rogers song. Anyway, Microsoft isn't quite to the point of running away from Windows 8, though. It is ready to walk away from putting time and resources into major updates. There will be no Windows 8.1 Update 2, which seemingly suggests Microsoft is now looking to ahead to Windows 9. Microsoft tried to address consumer complaints in Windows 8 with Windows 8.1, and then again with its first major update for Windows 8.1. However, Windows 8 isn't grabbing market share the way Microsoft hoped it would, even with Windows XP taken behind the shed. Okay? That reality must have finally hit Microsoft like a ton of bricks, and now Microsoft is changing gears. Rather than releasing another major update to Windows 8.1, it's going to add any upcoming changes to its monthly update schedule, better known as Patch Tuesday. Okay. Rather than waiting for months and building together a bunch of improvements into a larger update, as we did for the Windows 8.1 update, customers can expect that we'll use our already existing monthly update process to deliver more frequent improvements along with the security updates normally provided as part of Update Tuesday. So despite rumors and speculation, we are not planning to deliver a Windows 8.1 Update 2. Okay, that means the next truly major update to Windows will be a brand new version. It's currently codenamed Threshold and is expected to be called Windows 9. There you go. What do you think? You think it's? I think it's the right move. Don't you?
Oh, I mean, if we're talking about the Windows 8 whole thing, I mean, there's already enough content being leaked about Windows 9 that shows that they're really putting some effort into it, and they're starting the hype train already. So, them putting the hatchet to Windows 8 in preparation for Windows 9 is, should have been, people should have seen that one coming from a mile away.
Okay.
Bigger question.
Mm-hmm.
Why Tuesday?
I mean, why not Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, like why Patch Tuesday?
I guess they figured people were coming out of the weekend and they needed one day to kind of recover and everything, and they figured they would.
See, that's what I thought too, because a lot of companies actually copied it and they do Tuesday updates as well. I figured like they spent all week working on it and then they didn't want to push out on like a Friday and then something go wrong during the weekend. So then they wait, they get all their ducks in a line on Monday and then Tuesday they push it out so they can work on it all throughout the rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I mean, I just never got a straight answer as to why Tuesday and why not Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, Wikipedia has a theory.
Yeah, I know, and I looked up the thing on Wikipedia, and it's just kind of one of those things where like, yeah, Microsoft did it, and kind of got used, so now it's a thing.
That's it. There's no rhyme nor reason for it.
Huh.
Huh.
Let's see. Oh wait. Star Fortress chat room. So the servers aren't killed on Monday, and then they have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to fix the mess ups. So
sort of like what I was saying. Yeah, it's sort of like what I was saying.
So Mondays, everyone gets their some work done, and then Tuesday, the gates are open, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, wrangle it all back in.
That's it. Exactly.
Okay, so we have one from a story from BGR, and that's Netflix's massive new content wave is going to put unprecedented pressure on HBO. There was a story I don't think we got to yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time ever, Netflix out-revenued HBO.
It did.
It did.
Wow.
Which is surprising because the cable, military-industrial complex that is cable. Has always, like their beacon has always been HBO. HBO has, kept everyone afloat by their subscription numbers. HBO has always been the moneymaker. Everyone else could lose money on whatever they wanted, but HBO was always a safe haven.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out Netflix, with its apparent, $8, $8.50 subscription fee, has finally out-revenued HBO.
Do you subscribe to Netflix? I know I have.
I do.
I have one. I have an account.
I know I do. I know Aaron does. I know you do, and I know Chris does, who's a family friend. So that's 4 people within about 5.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, when it's that cheap and that easy,
yeah,
it's so easy to justify $8 a month.
And not only that, they come up with some really good. It was every Friday, so they come up with a title that I can't get on, pay-per-view or.
They're coming out with more and more originals that are actually very, very worth the money.
Yeah, but not only originals. I'm just talking about movies that that are coming due that I have not seen. Let's say on HBO or and they just come out. What was it? The latest Star Trek movie came out.
Into Darkness.
Yeah, Into Darkness. That came out. That was on Netflix. I mean, and that hasn't been on HBO or any of the other ones. So they do get some good titles sometimes.
And also, they were the ones who brought back Breaking Bad, which, was a moderate success, and then and then after season 4, it kind of went away, and then Netflix picked it back up. And just because Breaking Bad, the creators of the show really credited Netflix with its success, because people were able to watch the entire series up to that point, and then they were able to release new episodes on Netflix. So you were able to do that binge watching, because a lot of the turnoff to starting a series is if you come in at season 3. You know what I mean? Because then you have to back watch, and or you jump right in and you don't know what's going on and you don't know any of the plot. But TV series on Netflix, you can binge watch. You can go straight to season 1, episode 1, and binge watch. Just watch everything, catch yourself up, and then go about. And when Netflix picks it up, so people watching that is just going to skyrocket.
Yeah,
So,
it's a matter of taste. I mean, for example, Orange is the New Black. I started watching it. I watched about 6 episodes, like binge watching it, but I couldn't get into it. So that was just me. I mean, it wasn't.
You didn't like binge watching, or didn't like what you were binge watching?
I didn't like what I was binge watching, which was Orange is the New Black. I didn't find it to be. But that's just my personal. I'm sure a lot of people do like it. House of Cards.
House of Cards and Orange is the New Black is 2 of their highest rated original.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, HBO has benefited from blockbuster franchises like Game of Thrones and True Blood. Although True Blood is in its final season, but what is the other one I'm watching? Oh, Cinemax. I'm watching.
Game of Thrones.
Cinemax has and the series that I'm watching is
True Detectives.
No, I'll think of it momentarily. But that one I got caught up on, and I've been watching that, and they're coming up with their next season of it. It's about this sheriff who's not really a sheriff. He pretends to be a sheriff, but and he goes to Amish country and.
Amish Gangsters.
No.
That's a real show, folks. Don't even laugh at that one. That's a real show.
There is Amish Gangsters. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, while you think about that, let's read the article about this one. A Netflix massive new content wave going to put pressure on HBO. So the future.
Banshee. That's
Banshee. Okay, there we go. Banshee. Did you like it?
Yeah, I do like it. I like Banshee.
Okay. Does it have like a Western feel or more of a CSI feel?
No. It's like it's not. It takes place today in modern times. It's just that he's really he's an ex-convict, and he finds himself in a position where he actually becomes sheriff of this town called Banshee, and gets involved with the mob. It's actually a very good series.
Sounds like a lot of twists and turns. Anyways, out of this article, the future keeps happening. Facebook just passed IBM in market cap, and now Netflix has passed HBO in subscriber revenue, hitting a giddy 1.146 billion last quarter.
Yeah.
So Netflix began streaming video content just 7 years ago. HBO started its cable television operation back in the early 70s, more than 40 years ago. And even though HBO has benefited from many massive blockbusters, Game of Thrones, True Blood, what have you, Netflix is pulling ahead in original content creation both in quality and in volume, obviously biased by the author. House of Cards and Orange is the New Black have generated nearly as much media buzz as Game of Thrones, and Netflix is about to soar to new levels of eccentric yet lavishly budgeted programming. There are no fewer than 5, count them, 5 limited series linked to Marvel's Daredevil franchise slated for Netflix in 2015. The Marco Polo miniseries will be shot in Italy, Malaysia, and Kazakhstan, while Chelsea Handler's once so hot late-night talk show will make a surprise switch to Netflix. BoJack Horseman is an adult animation featuring Will Arnett as a former sitcom star dealing with alcoholism and self-loathing. So wait, there's still much more. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are teaming up in a sitcom. The Wachowski siblings are producing a science fiction show spanning continents.
That's the Matrix. The Matrix. Those are the guys. The brothers did the Matrix.
Yep. Yeah. A new family drama features 80s Oscar contenders Sissy Spacek, Sam Shepard, and Kyle Chandler. It now looks like a new season of Arrested Development is also in the cards. All together, it looks like only one thing is missing is Jessica Lange. Jessica Redemption is the thread that runs through nearly all these shows. Handler lost her sizzle a few years ago. Daredevil was tarnished by a lackluster movie adaptation. That's putting it lightly. Will Arnett peaked a while back. The Wachowskis are recovering from a couple high-profile flops, while Fonda and many other new Netflix stars thrived in the years between 70 and 85. It seems that Netflix is fixing its gimlet eye on attracting older viewers. A Sam Shepard drama, a Fonda Tomlin comedy, and a Marco Polo series are clearly geared at 40-plus age bracket. Even the Wachowski brothers' project seems a tad middle-aged, since The Matrix is now 15 years old and had its biggest impact on people now flirting with their 40s. Oh, age. HBO is no doubt feeling a bit under pressure. True Blood is stumbling through its final season, and Boardwalk Empire is also drawing to a close. Game of Thrones is now entering a stagnant stretch in the novel series, where hundreds of pages are spent on Daenerys wringing her hands in Meereen and Brienne inspecting grimly an endless succession of war-torn hamlets. It will be, and by the way, I doubt the TV show is going to be slow whatsoever, so I don't agree with that at that point. But it will be interesting to see if Netflix challenge spurs HBO into a period of more aggressive and ambitious generation original content, which would benefit everyone.
Yeah, HBO, they had Sex in the City. I mean, they were that was their that did amazing.
Yeah, that was bad. Oh, yeah, amazing. That's right. I wasn't a fan. I'm sorry.
You weren't even born, basically. But I remember when HBO first came out. They had.
It's not TV.
At late night, you know what they did? It was like the TV days. They would put up a test pattern. HBO would put up, a little thing of a cyclist just riding along a bicycle path, and that was it, with a little music going, and that was it.
Like off the air kind of deal.
Off the air, they would be off the air, and they would play this little movie of a guy riding a bicycle, and that's all it. And of course, now they realize, well, no, that's valuable viewing time, and so of course they don't have anything like that. But I remember when it first came up, HBO, and that's what you would see. So it certainly has moved quite a bit since when I first started. So,
Happy, tell me what color TVs when they first came out looked like.
I remember exactly. I remember the NBC Peacock. The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Is that why they had the Peacock, just to show the color?
Color. Yeah, they would show the color. It's exactly. Huh. And they would announce that the following show is brought to you in living color. They would announce it. As though it was something special. And then I guess in those days it was. Yes. The days of
the Technicolor path. Seriously, just as someone who didn't live it, I imagine that everything before, the 60s was just in two-tone grays and light reds and light greens. Like, color didn't come around until the 1920s, and then real color didn't come around until, like, the 70s. You know what I mean? And like, that's when, like, tie-dye happened, and, like, too much color happened.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the good old days, right? Well, here's another one from our good friend Paul Lilly, a prolific writer for Maximum PC. IBM develops the neurosynaptic chip. Functions like a human brain. This new chip boasts 1 million neurons and 256 million synapses. He says the human brain is a complex thing, and so are computer chips, though we have a much better understanding of the latter than the former. By somewhat combining the two, scientists from IBM have developed the first neurosynaptic computer chip to achieve an unprecedented scale of 1 million programmable neurons, 256 million programmable synapses, and 46 billion synaptic operations per second. IBM's Synapse chips has 5.4 billion transistors. It is a fully functional and production scale part, and currently one of the largest CMOS chips ever built, though it only consumes a scant 70 milliwatts, which is orders of magnitudes less than a modern processor, according to IBM. Synapse was built around a cognitive chip architecture with an on-chip two-dimensional mesh network of 4,096 digital distributed neurosynaptic cores, where each core module integrates memory, computation, and communication, and operates at an event-driven, parallel, and fault-tolerant fashion. IBM has broken new ground in the field of brain-inspired computers in terms of radically new architecture, unprecedented scale, unparalleled power, area, speed, efficiency, boundless scalability, and innovative design techniques. We foresee new generations of information technology systems that complement today's von Neumann machines, powered by an evolving ecosystem of systems, software, and services. This according to a doctor who's an IBM fellow, the IBM chief scientist. Okay. The chip was fabricated using Samsung's 28 nanometer process technology with dense on-chip memory and low leakage transistors. Looking ahead, IBM hopes to integrate multi-sensory neurosynaptic processing into mobile devices constrained by power, volume, and speed. So your next phone might be a Terminator.
Not quite.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still interesting to hear that they're trying to model it after the human brain.
Yeah.
But I think they're a couple orders of magnitude away from still achieving it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because we're in the trillion.
You know, like yeah, like they're boasting like 1.25 million or something like that, and yet the human brain
Trillion.
way more complex, way. So
I mean, are they going to come out with a chip with the soul? You think eventually?
I have watched. The last one I watched was Into the Wormhole, but there have been a couple things on like the Discovery Channel and whatnot, going about the soul, what is the consciousness, and things like that. And until we understand it, can we create it?
Can we even understand it? Is it possible for something to understand itself? That's the problem.
Well, I mean, I think we pretty much nailed that one shut 3,000 years ago with I think, therefore I am.
Yeah, but can we get it on a chip? That's the problem.
Yeah, hi. Okay. So Google Hangouts is having a problem, so I'm going to leave that one up so everyone can hear me talking here. As for what they can hear of your side of the conversation is probably 0 to 0. We'll probably have to try that. So, okay, well, yeah, I'll do a story in the time that we have. We have about a minute here before the before the show goes into commercial. Okay. Yeah, so I have the story here from Blaster. It's Device's sister network. Device, as you know, went off the air, as we are about to with a commercial, and we'll be right back. But it's about Aquaman and how he's getting defended.
Oh, yes, okay. That's a good story, and we'll continue on. I think you're back in Hangouts. I see you now.
And time to hang up Skype.
Yes, it is. Okay, you hang up Skype, and we'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 583-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MyTV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MyTV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MyTV. 1-866-663-MyTV.
Greetings, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of the Withings wireless blood pressure monitor. We're going to see Withings again in another review, but right now we're looking at one of that new collection of wearable tech products with a difference. So many of them insist on supporting only iOS. That one of our first bits of daylight with Withings is that they also support Bluetooth 3 for Android 4 and higher devices, so their use isn't limited to that iStuff minority. The second grabber for us was their functionality. We're looking at the blood pressure monitor this time, their Pulse O2 Soon, with whatever elements you have reporting to the same free app. Available on Android, available on iOS. The blood pressure monitor is a fully automatic inflating pressure cuff that reports systolic, diastolic, and heart rate to that app for both instant reading and automatic historical tracking. Once it's charged and paired, it's a no-brainer to use. Bottom line, the Withings wireless blood pressure monitor is just as useful for people who want to keep an eye on their routine blood pressure as for those who use blood pressure as a measure of the effectiveness of their exercise regimens. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just trying to see if we were on the Boost radio net or the IRN radio network.
Okay, yeah, I was doing the thing where, like, if you hear yourself like a split second after you say something, it kind of blocks your brain. Yeah, I was doing that. So, yeah, welcome back to the Computer America Show. 34 minutes past the hour. Sorry about the technical difficulties we had, especially if you were watching on our Google Hangouts, but it's back up. We're running again. Good as new.
You know what I had to do? Let me see if I can hear myself here.
You could ever imagine. Says these people.
No, I guess. All right. So what I had to do, evidently, is I had to close out the Google Hangouts window not hang up on, not stop it, just restart it and rejoin it, and that's evidently that fixed the problem. So that's the first time I ever had to do it that way, but now I know what to do in case that happens again. Anyway, thanks to Marty Winston for the news tip bulletin.
News tip bulletin review.
Yes, news tip bulletin review. That's correct. I think we should do our show reminder winner because this is when we normally.
All right, we'll do that, and then we'll do the story about Aquaman.
Okay, so this is our weekly show reminder winner, and that person is Edna Wilderson. Edna Wilderson, congratulations. You win the Logitech Wireless Rechargeable Touchpad T650. It's valued at $80, and we're going to get that out to you right away. Thanks so much, and congratulations for being this week's Show Reminder winner. And again, just go to our contest page at computeramerica.com, or you can just go to our newsletter. Go right to our newsletter page right there, subscribing. It's right there on our home page. Just click it, and it'll show you. All you have to do is put in your email address and your first and last name, and click the blue submit button. It'll ask you for it'll send you a confirmation email to which you must reply, and then you're in. And again, it's completely confidential. We give the info out to no one. And every week from that list of names, we draw a winning name to win a really nice prize from our good friends over at Logitech, just like Edna Wilderson did. Okay. All right. So we're doing computer technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. And what did you want to talk about, Ben? You started to do this.
Yeah. Before the technicalities, the story here from Blaster. It's a sister site to Device. Device was the science channel from the Science Channel. What was the science site from the Science Channel and Sci-Fi Channel. So this one is about Aquaman, and apparently Zack Snyder is making a movie based on Aquaman.
Zack Snyder did the Man of Steel. He did the Man of Steel.
He did the Man of Steel, and he did a Batman one, I think.
He's yeah. Oh, by the way, is Zack Snyder doing the sequel too? He's doing he's
doing Batman versus Superman.
Okay, good. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so so he's doing the Aquaman right now. So this article, Zack Snyder crashed a radio show to defend Aquaman. So Zack Snyder wants you to take Aquaman seriously. The director caught wind of a couple of radio DJs talking smack about the superhero, and he wasn't amused. Snyder called in and quickly jumped to Aquaman's defense. In the process, Snyder avoided any confirmation about Aquaman's appearance in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Zack Snyder, and by the way, this is the actual conversation that took place. So, Zack Snyder, I'm on my way to the set right now, and I was listening to you guys on the radio, and you guys were disparaging a little bit Aquaman. Just a teensy. I mean, it didn't feel like hatred. The DJ? Yeah, we were questioning why he was involved. And Zack Snyder replied, I don't want to give anything away about the movie or anything like that, but Aquaman has some cool abilities that I think people are like, oh, what does he, or it's like, oh, what does he talk to animals because that seems like what he does, or fish or whatever. The cool thing is that Aquaman, his trident, people don't realize this, that could cut the flesh of Superman, and they come in contact, if they come in contact. That's a thing, and that's in the canon. He's super strong because, of course, he can't exist at the super deep depths. So when he comes up here, he's crazy strong. Not to say he's in my movie or anything like that. He has the potential to be awesome. That's all he's saying. So Jason Momoa has been rumored to play Aquaman in Batman vs. Superman, but it hasn't been officially confirmed. If you're going to beef up Aquaman's profile, casting Momoa would be the perfect way to start it. It's fair to say Snyder has something to prove with his version of the character that may or may not appear in the film. So apparently he's not getting his own film, but he may make a cameo in Batman vs. Superman.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Jason Momoa would be. We'd actually talked about this with Nathan Evans from Pop Zera, and we talked a little bit about that. And then he said he was gonna if he would be good for the role, and I think he would too. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, he you may know him as Khal Drogo from the Game of Thrones, where he's that really big horse lord kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Aquaman, I've said it many a time before. Don't take him lightly.
No, I won't.
Aquaman is a serious member of the Justice team.
Yeah, his trident would cut Superman because that's very unusual because obviously Superman's supposed to be indestructible and the only thing that could hurt him is kryptonite.
He's taking bullets to the eye and he still walks away
Yeah.
without anything.
That's without anything. So that's really saying something. Maybe there's some kryptonite in the trident that allows.
No, I don't think it's kryptonite. I think it's just he's really strong and it's Poseidon's trident, so it has powers of its own.
Well, supposedly Superman is susceptible to magic. You see, that's one of his other weaknesses, and that'll affect him. Maybe this comes into the category of magic. Could be.
It definitely would. But I also like the fact that they're calling it, as you know, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, because Dawn of Justice obviously refers to Justice League and getting into that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Because we know Wonder Woman is getting involved.
Yes, she is. Mm-hmm.
So you got Wonder Woman, Green Lantern is already established. You're getting the whole Justice League together, which is Well,
that's what happened with
Marvel.
With the Avengers, yeah, they did individual ones, and they finally came together with the Avengers series. Exactly.
So it's going to be really cool.
I think it will too, and and they're still doing the individual superheroes. That hasn't ended them. They continues on. The whole world continues on with the different characters.
Yep.
Hey, look! Windows Phone stores now features over 300,000 apps for a Windows Phone. So in case you haven't been paying attention, the Windows Phone store is growing and expanding into a legitimate contender right before our very eyes. Our associate producer, Carissa Green, actually has a Windows Phone. And it's very nice. It looks really. I played around with it for a bit. It's a cool phone. You saw her phone when you came up to visit? She had that there.
Which one?
The Carissa Green. Carissa.
Oh yeah.
He has a Windows Phone.
Yep.
By Microsoft's count, the Windows Phone store now boasts over 300,000 apps and games, with over 2 billion app downloads to date. Sure, that's only a fraction of the available apps on Android and iOS, but it's a big fraction. Okay. Have you seen the most recent TV commercials where they're showing off Cortana next to the iPhone and Siri?
I think I did, and Siri is like, that's a smartphone.
Yeah, it's smart. It says, I can't do that. And then Cortana says, well, book it, I'm going to do this. And Siri says, I can't do that either. So.
See, look, I didn't, or at least I thought in advertising you couldn't, specifically call out another company.
You can't. Yeah, they're doing it.
But I mean, poor Cortana's just beating up on Siri.
Well, you can if it's the truth. You can't say something that's debatable. But if they're showing a particular function and Siri can't do that, you can say it.
And did they ever?
Yeah, I'm not the lawyer, but I think I know enough to say that if you say something that's truthful, then they can't do much about it. Now, for the sake of comparison, Android is home to over 1 million apps and 50 billion downloads to date, while iOS hosts over 1.2 million apps and can brag about serving up to 75 billion downloads in the past 6 years. Judged by itself, Microsoft's Windows Phone store is doing just fine and growing at a decent clip. Back in December 2013, it had 200,000 apps, and it's added 100,000 in the past 8 months. Not too shabby. I mean, it's the late comer. It's a late starter, but it's catching up. Despite the number of apps and downloads, Microsoft has its work cut out in the mobile space. At last count, ComScore pegged the Windows Phone platform as having a 3.4% share of the smartphone market in the U.S. versus 52.1% for Android and 41.9% for iOS. So there you go. So it's a really tiny share. But hey, they're working on it.
See, but the thing about apps is, congratulations, you have 1.2 million of them. How many of them are actually used?
Yeah,
I mean, you really need, let's just say you have your Facebook app, you have your news app, you have your, your whatever game app you have or what have you. But I mean, most people, I can't imagine them having. I mean, for conservative, let's just say they have 50 apps.
Yeah.
They have 50 apps that they use, on a daily basis,
yeah.
And you got to admit, there's probably popular apps out there that have a lot of market saturation.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you really need, 1.2 million apps?
No,
probably about 50,000 are being used.
You don't really need it, but except if you're looking for something that you have a better chance of finding what it is in particular that you're looking for.
I just feel like the good apps, like the really good apps that make people say, I need that app, have already been ported over to the Windows Phone.
Yeah.
So the really good apps have made their way over there, and now they're just trying to fill it up with the clutter quote unquote clutter that makes up all the other app stores.
I mean, how many apps you need that do bodily function noises? I mean,
you only need one, exactly.
One, exactly.
Just a big red button.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And they're out there too. I wouldn't press it.
Yeah, so it sounds like they're just trying to fill out that clutter, that bulk that the others have. But the really good apps that everyone wants, if you bought a Windows Phone today and you really like a particularly popular app, it's probably already over there.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're looking for like a little niche one that some college kid made and you just really can't live without it, not so much. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. News. We're doing news. Okay, here's one that affects anyone with a phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this one from Engadget. Carriers have to let you text 911 by the end of the year.
Ooh, good.
You've had the option of texting 911 in a handful of U.S. cities for a couple of months, thanks in part to voluntary efforts from bigger cell phone carriers. However, the FCC doesn't want you to be left out solely because you're on a smaller network. The agency just adopted rules requiring all American wireless providers have the capability to text to 911 by the end of the year. You won't necessarily get emergency messaging by that point, but carriers will have 6 months to implement it in any given region if a local call center makes a request. Right now, the new regulations won't make a big difference. Only Maine and Vermont are fully prepared to handle SMS in a crisis, and you'll only find some form of coverage in 16 states. However, the FCC move means that adoption could grow very quickly. Now that carriers can't say no, 911 facilities are more likely to push for the technology. Don't be surprised if you can soon send a text-based cry for help at any moment when a voice call would be difficult or dangerous.
Mm. But what about it doesn't say anything about what about just calling 911?
That is available to everyone already.
It is. Okay, so if I dial 911, but you see, we have I'm registered in Florida, so if I dial 911, it's going to go. It's going to think I'm in Florida, or it's going to use a geolocate and try to figure out where I am.
From what I've heard, if you're not using a particular app, it will just it will take wherever the signal is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure. I mean, some do it by wherever your chip is registered, and it'll send the information that way. But some will actually do it by the towers and how you do it that way.
For example, when I needed roadside assistance, I called AAA and I had the number and I dialed the number, the 800 number. It gave me the Florida one, and I happened to be in the Carolinas at the time, and so
that might be the caller ID.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but anyway, they fixed it because now there's an app, and when you use the app to make the call, then they know where you are.
The app has geo services, or like the iPhone has where you are in real time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. If I use sometimes, for example, if my cable internet goes out, it rarely does, but when it does go out, and therefore I can't use my phones because my phones are on the internet, the voice over IP. They're UMA. I love the UMA, by the way. I'll use my cell phone to call Charter, is the name of the service in the Carolinas. And when I go, the first thing comes is, we're sorry, we don't service the area because my phone is a 561. It's registered to Florida, where we have a home as well. That's our main home. So then at least it's smart enough. It says hold on, and then it goes over, and then I can say, hey, hello, I'm.
You could just keep mashing 0 enough times until you get an actual person that'll listen to you.
Yeah, and and then I'll tell them that, no, I'm not in Florida. I'm in the Carolinas right now, and then they make it happen. So
technology's good, but I mean, it's always so good to talk to a person.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Anyway, carriers have to let you text 911 by the end of the year, so that's
kind of. They have to have the ability to accept 911 calls. So, like, let's say you're in rural Texas, and the odds of someone texting 911 are slim to none. They aren't forced to implement it. It's just if a call center receives enough requests to allow people to text 911, then that call center could make a request to someone else and get that technology in. Mm-hmm. It's just they have to be capable of getting that technology in by the end of the year.
Did you know that YouTube videos are available in 1440p, not 1080, but 1440p? And the problem was that you didn't really have anything to display it on, but evidently LG's got a new flagship phone, the G3, which stands out for its quad high density. That's 2560 by 1440 display. And the handset is taking advantage of all these pixels to offer a high-res YouTube experience. As first reported by Talk Android, G3 owners can now watch YouTube videos in 1440p, a welcome bump up from the usual max resolution of 1080p. This feature reportedly comes via a recent update, and it's still in the process of rolling out to all G3 handsets. If you're currently using LG's latest flagship, and if you're seeing the 1440p options, you can go and you can actually see it'll show quality 480, 720, 1080, and there'll be an option for 1440p. So that, and they're saying if you don't see it, hang in there because you'll be seeing it shortly as they continue to upgrade the system. So if you have an LG G3 phone, you can watch YouTube videos now in 1440p. Now your life's complete.
I guess. I mean, a 4K TV has a place in this world. 1440p has a place.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You want to do the one about the cat? No.
Which is the one about the cat?
How to use your cat to hack your neighbor's Wi-Fi?
No, not that one.
That one, okay.
No. All right. How about a quick freebie in case anyone's bored this week and wants something to do?
Okay.
Because we like free here on Computer America. Free is the
good
name of the game. Maxim PC, Paul Lilly, heads up, EA tosses Battlefield 4 on game time. Play free for a week.
Ooh.
So yeah, have you heard both good things and bad things, and can't decide whether or not to buy Battlefield 4? Don't sweat it. EA just made Battlefield 4 its newest game time title, meaning you can play the full version for free for a limited time, up to 7 days in this case. Yes, that entails going through Origin, EA's digital distribution platform, but if you're okay with that, you can download the title and hop right into the action.
Cool.
And they have a quote here, go ahead and try it on, take a bite, look under the hood. This is the full game, so check out every feature and every option and play for as long as the game time clock runs. If you play out the full week or just a portion and decide to buy the game, the progress will be saved so you can pick right up where you left off. Yep. Not your cup of tea. EA is also serving up Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning on game time, giving you 48 hours of free playtime. So apparently, just to recap, this new game time feature that they're talking about, Origin is, their version to combat Steam. It's just, like they said, it was their digital distribution platform, and they're running a new thing called Game Time, where they'll put up random games. I'm not really sure how they pick them, but they'll put up random games, and you can play them for free for a limited time. I know just the other day they had Peggle up there from PopCap.
Oh yeah.
And if you downloaded that when it was up on Game Time, you could play it for free forever. Like you could just add it to your library and you have it. So it's kind of like a Steam sale, but not really. It's just a try. But if you don't have Origin, might consider downloading it for some free games.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And again, it's whenever you download it, and then 7 days after, you get you can either buy it or walk away.
Okay. Hey, let's do a couple of quick rumors according to Wired. This is this week's Apple rumors. They're saying each week there's more rumors and reports. They say don't count on it. Report says no Sapphire display, yes to NFC for the next iPhones. So basically, NFC and no Sapphire display. They said they could hold off on it, but still dubious on that one. Ask again later. iPhone 6 to include a 2100 mAh battery. A bigger iPhone could get a higher capacity battery. This wouldn't be too surprising. Okay. They're saying future iPhones could have hidden FaceTime cameras. That's a possibility. Purported rear shell of the next iPad Air shows slight redesign. Okay. And then signs that point to yes, patents indicate Siri developments on the way. A couple of Siri-related patent applications passed. One that shows how Siri could be used on the Mac, and another how we use a voice trigger like "Hey Siri" for interactions. That could happen. The next Worldwide Developer Conference takes place on June the 8th to 12th, 2015. That's one of the big deals. Let's see what else. And that's it. Without a doubt, Apple hosting an iPhone event September the 9th. So that's pretty much it.
So I guess in 1 month you'll have your answer as to whether or not the
Uh-huh.
iWatch is coming out, what's happening with Siri,
Yeah.
new iPhone, what have you.
I haven't heard anything about the iWatch, not even from rumors. I don't know what's going to happen now.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not
I've
worried.
said it from the beginning, and unfortunately we've spent many a half hour talking about the possibilities of an iWatch.
Well, you see,
I don't think it's going to happen.
That's why I got my watch here. And I say, nice shiny watch. See, that's it. Okay.
Fancy.
Yeah, fancy watch. Do we have time for one more story that you want to pick? We got like about 6 minutes.
Yeah, I have a longer one. It's about when robots take over the work. What are people going to do? Don't have time for that one. That one's a little long. I really don't. The NCAA lost against EA because every year EA comes out with a new Madden. Madden 2014, Madden 2015, what have you, with all the updated rosters, with all the players, with stats and updated teams and things like that. Apparently, NCAA took them to court saying that they couldn't use the likenesses of their employees, and they lost that. So, EA is still allowed to continue making their Madden and their NFL and what have you.
They even on the store they even put up the court order. You can actually read it. So it's,
yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but it's 99 pages, and we're not going to read them
to you. Okay. So, all right. Well, listen. I guess that pretty much wraps it up. We got a couple of good movies, I said, coming out this weekend, and as I mentioned, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I have so many friends that really want to see that. They're playing off that nostalgia thing, and growing up, we all had the cartoon, and no, we had the cartoon, and we had the earlier movies with like the latex costumes.
Yeah. Well, you should go see it.
Yeah, so everyone wants to go see that just because they're like, oh, Ninja Turtles, this is going to be, just like our childhood.
Yeah.
I think everyone's going to be disappointed, unfortunately.
Yeah. By the way, your brother went to see Guardians of the Galaxy with the friends. He liked it,
He liked it.
Yeah, he liked it. See, Mikey liked it. Yeah, exactly.
That's a Life cereal commercial, I think.
Yeah, it was the Life cereal.
Hey, give it to Mikey. He
really anything. Exactly. So I might catch. I don't know if I'm going to catch some Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm probably not going to. Maybe I will. But your mom wants to see Into the Storm, and
by the way, I looked that up. It's supposed to be like a thriller kind of deal, not just people are getting blown around by a tornado. It's supposed to be them actually, going to a place where there's a high concentration of storms, and they have storm chasers, photographers, what have you, and they're in the thick of it.
Yeah, but it's a movie about weather. I'm just not.
Hey, if they can make a TV show about weather entertaining, they can make a movie about it. I mean, you saw Twister, right?
Yeah, that was a Steven Spielberg production too.
Exactly, and the infamous cow.
And the cow that was flying through the air. I remember. You remember that? Yeah, that's cool.
I know.
Yeah. Well, coming up on Monday, we're going to have a company called App Medicine, and this is going to be this is kind of interesting. This is an app that you can put on your phone, and it's called App Visit. It's an easy-to-use mobile app available on Android and Apple smartphones, tablets that corrects you with your own that connects you with your own trusted healthcare professional provider for diagnosis, medical questions, instructions,
90 seconds,
appointments, and more. In other words, rather than going to the doctor's office, App Visit provides you a secure way to receive the care you need when you need it, and from the comfort of wherever you are. This is kind of cool. So it allows you to visit your medical professional generally for less than an in-office visit, depending on the provider. So so basically, you can download this thing and save yourself the hassle. Effective doctors involve patients. That's the goal of everything they want to do. So it's called App Medicine. We'll be there in the first hour, and then in hour 2, we'll do computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Make sure you're signed up for our weekly email show reminder. That way you can find out who's going to be on the Computer America show for the entire week. it's free. Why not do it? Okay. So again, congratulations to our show reminder winner, Edna Wilderson. Again, congratulations to you. And have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday night. So until Monday night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you there Monday night.
All right. Good night, everyone.
10 seconds.
There we go.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, and
I painted my nails.
You did? Oh, yeah, I see that. Really nice.
Thank you.
Say goodnight all in the chat room. See you Monday. Ciao. And let's go out of there, and then we'll say goodnight to everybody in the Hangouts. Good night, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you on Monday. Wave goodbye. All right.